So hey, YouTube, I was pretty pumped. I finally got a chance to get out and do some snow camping on the property. We haven't had that many snowfalls the last couple of years, and those few that we did, I just couldn't get out there and enjoy it. It's always nice to get out and do some snow camping. I had some new gear I wanted to test, and it's always interesting to test that in either heavier snow or cold. Things react differently in those types of weather conditions, and I'll be putting up some different videos about some of the gear that I used and going a little bit more into detail about them. If you want to see those, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss them. I'm going to leave some links down below to some of the gear that I used, and as always, if you have any questions, add them in the comments and I will definitely try to answer them for you. I really appreciate you watching, and hopefully you'll enjoy this video. All right, so I got out here a little early today so I could get this set up. I've got to go meet with the builder so we can kind of discuss some of the details. Actually, the electric company just rolled up there fixing to run the electrical lines. But wanted to set the camp up. I've got to go meet with the builder this afternoon, and that way everything will be set up, because when I get back here, it'll probably be pretty close to dark. So I didn't want to leave everything undone. I did bring some bags of hardwood that I just picked up from the grocery store. That'll kind of help out in case I run shy, but I think I've got, you know, enough wood for this evening. I usually don't stay up that late, so it's not usually too much of an issue. But yeah, so camp set up. The privacy tent, kind of interesting. Normally I don't bring a privacy tent with me when it's just me, and I've got my bag toilet. But I thought, you know, it's going to be snowing. If I get up in the middle of the night and have to use the facilities, I know that I want to be up in the snow. Of course, shouldn't be having too much snow this evening. It would just be stuff that's already on the ground, so it wouldn't be an issue. But I decided to bring it. What the hell? So everything's all staked out, ready to go. Camp kitchen set up, tent set up. I got my mat set up, got my canopy set up. I got high hopes for the canopy. I think that's going to work out really well. So I think we're good. Once evening comes, I'll determine what the best place for my fire is. I may set it here just so I can create a wind block between here, because this is west here and this is south. So with this is a southeast direction, so it should be a little bit better from a wind perspective. I just don't want to get enough heat to where I create issues with the canopy, so I'll set it off a little bit. But yeah, should be good camping. I'm looking forward to the first real snow camping I've done in a couple of years. So, all right, well, I'll give an update later. So as you can see, we've got a little bit of white stuff. It started a little early. It was just before 8 o'clock, and it started spitting freezing rain. You can see I've brushed off the tent once, but we've got considerable freezing rain. I used the top of the old canopy that I told you got torn apart, and I strung it up here to just create a break, because that gives me a good sheltered cooking spot. It's always challenging to cook in this kind of weather. As you can see, I've got everything down underneath, keeping my firewood dry. It's not really cold, so it started off this morning about 24 degrees, but then it constantly rose, and right now we're at about 29 degrees. It's supposed to get up to about 30, 31 as a high, and then it's not going to get super cold again tonight. It's only going to get down to like 29, 28 degrees. It's hard to tell, because up here, we're up on the mountain a little bit, and the weather tends to report the town temperature, which is always a little bit higher. So far, everything's doing really well. One thing that I noticed, I did put a little cover over. I've never had a problem with this Monster X battery box and moisture, but I didn't want it to get covered in, you know, 8 inches of snow, and the ice doesn't help either. And I forgot that I kept the old tonneau cover rolled up on the truck. One of the problems with having an open vehicle, I've heard a lot of the overlanders complain about dust. I don't experience that because I'm not an overlander. Never been an issue for me, but I thought, you know, if I get 8 inches of snow in the bed of the truck, I'm going to have to clean that out before I pack up camp and leave Sunday morning. Well, actually, it'll probably be Sunday afternoon with all this stuff coming down. It's going to make packing up camp a little bit more interesting. But so far, the canopy's really holding up. The ice, even when it's probably about the thickest accumulation so far but it's really not sagging much. It's got quite a good lean to it, and if I hit on the inside of it with my snow brush, it just comes tumbling down. The same thing with the T4 tent. It's done really well. It doesn't seem to be affected at all. As you can see, there's quite a bit on the fly. It's not affected, and all I got to do is hit it a little bit with the snow brush, create some vibrations, and it stuff comes right off. So that's that. And I'll just keep it a little bit clean, and then once the snow starts, I won't have that ice hanging on there. But the same thing with this. I hit it, it comes right off. So it seems to be super sturdy and working really well. So I think it's going to be a super good trip. All right, so we actually started getting some snow. We had some sleet and freezing rain early on, and the wind, wasn't expecting this, is coming from the northeast. So I had to adjust my canopy a little bit. I had the extra windbreak all along this wall, but I had a lot of snow coming in here. So I went ahead and moved that, tied that off. The tent and canopy are doing really well, as you can tell, nice and tight. It's got some snow on it, but it's not sagging too much. And once again, just a little push with the snow brush takes it right off. So we may have a quarter of an inch, half an inch so far. It's not, you can tell by my boot print, not super thick yet, but we are expecting it to pick up. It's going to do this pretty much all day long. And at one point at 2 o'clock, we're supposed to get in that 1 hour, 2 to 3, a solid 2 inches just within that 1 hour. So we'll see how it goes, but so far it's been enjoyable, and here in a little bit I might kick up a fire. So I'll give an update later. So still snowing, not a whole lot more snow, but everything is it's going pretty well. Everything's holding up. I readjusted that seems to be working. So now not as much snow is coming in through there, although I think the breeze has died down a little bit as well, and hopefully it'll continue to be fairly calm throughout the night. It's only 11 o'clock in the morning, so we haven't got to that stage where I'm thinking about really firing up a campfire. It's not super, the temperatures did drop a little bit. We got up to about 28 and a half degrees according to my sensor push things. So I love these for winter camping because it's, well, I guess for any kind of camping, because it's interesting to know what the humidity and the temperatures are. But according to that, it did get up to about 28 and a half, and now it's dropped off. It's about 27 degrees. And I kind of expect it to stay about that temperature for the rest of the day. We're not probably going to see any temperature change tonight, so it's not going to get really cold. So I'll give you an update later. As you can see, it's been snowing quite a bit. I don't know how deep it is. I would expect that we got 5 inches maybe. I let the tent continue to collect snow on purpose, and then all of a sudden this side kind of like gave in a little bit, and I came over and brushed all the snow off. So we probably had a good 3 inches of heavy wet snow sitting on the top of the tent before it gave in, but then it just kind of bent. It didn't like damage anything. It didn't totally collapse or anything like that. So yeah, for a 3-season tent, it does pretty good in the winter. I was kind of surprised. So all right, I'll give you an update later. All right, so a little bit of an update. This is probably the last one. It's started to rain now. Unfortunately, everything else worked great, but the weather's not really cooperating. So it's been a pretty solid rain for, I don't know, the last 45 minutes. Fire's barely surviving it. It is what it is. Everything else worked out great though. The canopy has done great. I've had to brush the snow off. Well, I just push on the top, but snow rolls right off. It hasn't had any major issues, even though I let the snow get rather heavy a couple of times, and it does good. What you'll hear is this will creak when the weight starts getting a little too much. So then I just knock the snow off of it. The grill only fire worked great. I cooked on it twice and it worked fantastic. Everything else worked beautifully. Even this setup with the old canopy top blocking the incoming wind and snow and now rain worked great. The T4 held up fantastic. It's amazing. It did a lot better than I expected. It had quite a bit of weight on it, and it maintained its shape. It started to give a little bit. All I did is brush the snow off, and everything is good to go. So across the board, it was a success. The sand mat did a fantastic job of keeping the snow and mess down. Otherwise, I'd probably be in like a puddle of muddy water right now. But this is done great. I'll be able to clean my boots off tonight before I get into the tent. So that's a success as well. So yeah, everything worked really well, except for, as I said, the weather. I wanted snow, and now I'm getting rain. But we did get probably 5, maybe 6 inches. It depends. Some places I look, there's a lot more snow than others. The hood of the Jeep is fairly well covered. I would say that's probably a good 6 inches there, but I don't know if that's really indicative of what we got. So anyways, good time, and hopefully I'll get some of these videos up, and thanks for watching. So another one in the books. I had a great time. It was fantastic. The weather didn't cooperate 100%, as you saw. We did get some periods of freezing rain, which, you know, reduced the overall amount of snowfall that we got. We probably only got 5-6 inches instead of the 8. I would have preferred to get a lot more snow, but you know what? It scratched that itch. So had a fantastic time. All the gear held up really well, and just had a fantastic camping trip. So thanks for watching.